Hello viewers, welcome to Joy's Kitchen. I hope you are doing well. Today I'm gonna show you a special rice which I call lean beef rice. This is kind of like biryani and kind of like Bengali tehari, but actually it's none of them. I'm gonna use some of the common spices though, but that one is much healthier because I'm using actually fatless lean beef here, and I'm cooking with normal basmati rice. So as you can see, this is very yummy and very tasty and very healthy at the same time, and it's quite quick dish as well. So hope you're gonna enjoy my recipe. So here you go, check the recipe. So to cook my lean beef rice, I actually took 400 gram of lean beef here. You can see there is no fat at all in my meat. If you want to cook like proper biryani or proper tehari, you can take with fats and bones, but because this is like proper lean beef rice, that's why I took all this fatless meat here. And they're going to be really healthy actually, because this meat is really soft, tender and without fat at all. So yeah, so here's 400 gram I took here. If you want cooking more, you can take more meat. It's totally up to you that how much you are cooking actually. I'm not cooking too much, so 400 gram is enough. And I took actually here 2 cups of pure basmati rice, and I soaked it actually for 20 minutes. As you can see, I soaked it because it's gonna make the rice really long and really tender at the same time, and I don't need too much of water when I'm gonna cook the rice with the meat. So yeah, this is like normal basmati, and I soaked it. You can see it's quite long already, and I used like warm water to soak it. You don't need to add hot water, just normal warm water should be fine. I took 3 medium-sized onion and I just finely chopped it. There is no rule for chopping onions, so just finely chopped 3 onion. And I took 8 to 9 green chilies here, and I just cut them in the middle a little bit. That gonna release actually very nice flavor in my rice. I took 2 teaspoons of garlic paste here and 2 teaspoons of ginger paste. This is actually very important ingredients for this rice. And here is some dry onion, fried onion actually, dry fried onion, and I kind of made it paste. And there is a little bit of poppy seed as well. You can find easily poppy seed everywhere now, any super shop. So poppy seed and fried onion, and I kind of like paste them in the mixer. That's it. And it's nearly 3 tablespoons of it. And for dry spices, I took 1.5 teaspoons of roasted cumin powder, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, 1.5 teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of mace powder. You can find easily mace anywhere, mace powder, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg powder, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper powder. These are my like dry spices here. And for whole spices, I took few bay leaf, 2 to 3 cinnamon sticks, and 3 to 4 green cardamom actually. This is my whole spices. There is half teaspoon of tasting salt. This is very unusual. This usually we use it in Chinese cooking, but I'm gonna use it here. So around half teaspoon of tasting salt here. That's gonna change actually the whole taste of the dish. And salt taste wise, I took 2.5 teaspoons here, but if you need more, you can add more. So yeah, these are the like basic spices to cook my rice. You can see here. So I'm gonna cook my dish in mustard oil because mustard oil is much healthier than butter and normal vegetable oil. So that's gonna make my dish more healthier actually. So the whole dish I'm gonna cook in mustard oil, and I did need at least 4 tablespoons of mustard oil here. So I'm gonna add around 4 tablespoons of mustard oil first, and I'm gonna let it hot actually. If you want, you can use vegetable oil, but because I'm saying it like this is a healthy dish, so I'm choosing all the healthy option which I have in front, but still it's gonna be really, really tasty. And mustard oil goes really good with beef and green chilies, so that's gonna be really yummy, trust me. So I'm gonna make my oil hot first. So my oil is hot now, and now I'm gonna add all my finely chopped onions here, and I'm gonna fry them for 2 minutes. I don't need to make them really golden brown, just till they are lightly golden brown and a little bit softened. So it's not gonna take more than 2 minutes actually. That's actually a very quick dish. It's not gonna take too long because this is like solid meat and they're not gonna take too long to cook. If you cook with bones and fat, then they take long time actually. So this is quite kind of like quick dish, you can say. So after 2 minutes, my onions are done now, you can see. And now I'm gonna add all those whole spices, and I'm gonna fry those ones for another 1 minute to release their smell in my onion actually. It's not gonna take more than 1 minute. So after 1 minute, my whole spices and onions are done, and at that time I'm gonna add actually my ginger garlic paste, and I'm gonna fry them for another 1 minute with all my whole spices, onions and ginger garlic paste. If you want, you can add 1 tablespoon of water now, not to burn your spices if you are cooking this dish. That's what actually I'm gonna do, because usually ginger garlic get burned very quickly. So I'm gonna add around 1 tablespoon of hot water, and I'm gonna fry it for 1 or 1.5 minutes actually. After around 2 minutes, my ginger garlics are done now, and now I'm gonna add actually those onion paste which I made earlier, onion and poppy seed paste. That's actually the main basic ingredients in my rice dish, and that's gonna give it a really rich taste in my beef and my rice at the same time. That's so good. So you definitely need fried onion paste for this cooking dish, and a little bit of poppy seed, around 1 tablespoon of poppy seed maybe. And I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Actually I'm just washing my mixing pot, and I'm just adding this water not to burn my spices again, and I'm gonna fry them for another 2 minutes till the oil come up actually. It already actually smells really good. I can smell it, but you can't. After actually 2 minutes, you can see my onion paste release their own oil in this pot actually. And this is the time I'm gonna add my beef pieces here, and I'm gonna cook this beef at least 5 to 6 minutes with all those spices. This beef not gonna take too long. As I said, there is no bone, no fat, and this is like solid lean meat, so they cook very quickly actually. And at the same time I'm gonna mix all my dry spices as well, and I'm gonna cook them for 5 to 6 minutes. At that time, if you want, you can add 2 to 3 tablespoons of hot boiling water, not to burn your spices, and I'm adding salt as well, just to cook everything together, because usually this is fatless meat, so they can burn very quickly. So you just make sure if you're cooking this dish to add a little bit of water at the same time. You can see I'm just frying those together. And this is not very spicy because those green chili is going to give it a flavor, not spiciness. So after around 6 minutes, my beefs are almost half done now. Now I'm adding a little bit of water, as you can see, to cook it more actually. And now I'm gonna cook for another 3 to 4 minutes. It's just the frying process, just to mix my meat and spices all together. So after around 4 minutes, you can see the meat also release their own juices. So now I'm gonna add all my green chilies here, and I'm gonna cook it for another 1 to 2 minutes, just to release the green chilies, all their flavor in my meat. And as I said, this meat not gonna take too long to cook because they are solid meats. Oh, they smell so good, trust me. So after 4 minutes, you can see my meats are almost done now. Now this is the time I'm gonna add my rice. If you cook biryani or tehari, usually you make your rice half done before in another pot with the hot water. But in this dish, I'm not gonna do it. That's gonna make it like really complicated, and I'm cooking it like a very easy kind of rice and beef dish. So I soaked the rice, so it's already half done. And now I'm gonna add my rice with the meat, and I'm gonna cook it for another 1 minute. I'm gonna just cook all the spices and meats and rice and mix them properly. It's not gonna take more than 1 to 2 minutes, you can see. And I'm not gonna add any water at this moment. I'm just dry frying my rice with the spices. So my rice and meats are cooking for another 2 minutes, and they're like almost mixed together. And now I'm gonna add all my tasting salt here. This is very optional, but trust me, if you add a little bit of tasting salt, that's gonna make your dish really nice and different levels. So this is really actually kind of like important part. So I'm gonna cook it for another 1 minute. And now I'm gonna add around 2.5 cups of boiling water just to cook my rice, because this is pre-soaked rice, so I don't need too much water actually. For this amount of rice, I need like 2.5 cups of boiling water. That should be fine. And I'm gonna give it like 1 boil. I'm not gonna cover it now. At first I'm gonna cook it like for 2 minutes, and I'm gonna give it just 1 boil. You can see. After 1 boil, you can see I actually double covered my cooking pot. I actually covered my cooking pot at first with a little bit of foil paper just to steam my rice properly with the meat. And this is very important part of this cooking. You can see I just put the foil paper first and I covered it very nicely. You just make sure that there is no hole or there is no place that the steam can go. So you make sure that it's covered very nicely with the foil paper, and then you cover it with the main cover actually. And I'm gonna steam it for another 20 minutes, and that's gonna be done within 20 minutes. But if you're cooking more rice and more meat, it's gonna take longer obviously. And this is very like moderate heat. It's not too much heat. It's moderate heat. So it's gonna be fine within 20 minutes. So here you go guys, this is my lean beef rice is ready. As I said before, this is not biryani, this is not tehari, even though there is little bit similarities with the spices, but trust me, that's much more healthier and really flavorsome and really good. This is kind of like one pot dish, so you can cook very easily and you can serve it to the guest, and you can eat anytime you want. So here you go, check my recipe, and don't forget to like and subscribe my channel and follow my recipes and share my recipes with your friends, family and neighbors. And trust me, you should try this dish and you're gonna love it. This is really good, really healthy, and you're not gonna feel any guilty after you eating this dish. So here you go, bye bye, ta-ta.